Hi student, this is chapter 10 for architecture class 110. This chapter is a lot of reading, so I suggest that you reading at home, and this one I just go over very quick few of things important for this chapter only. You can read this one on the book, the textbook, or on the Canvas chapter 10. Basically, this chapter we talk about how architects get work in the company and what can they treat with the projects coming. We go over with that. I have a review question for this one also, so that's why you can read and after that answer the question. Again, email me on Canvas email address. You get 10 points for the review question. Okay, go with the chapter. Before 1970, marketing is something architects don't think can happen in the office. They don't think that marketing help to get the projects in the office. So that's why marketing is something just new after 1970. After 1970, a lot of companies they use the marketing to increase the income for the company, and they have many compete with the company and company. And after that, marketing service it make one of the most important to develop one private company. So right now, all of the big company they have the marketing department. They search online, they view online, they contact online, and they do everything for can get the project soon and compete with another company. So that's why right now marketing is cannot miss in any company. So this is one logo to show you that architecture with the marketing they have some kind like relationship together. Now, when you finish your bachelor degree in architecture, you get the first job. When you start to get the first job, that means the first day you start with marketing. You try to sell your knowledge and you sell any skill from you for service. You want to do very good, and that's the first one you need to show with the client. Zoom bigger so you can see clear. Know what they can do. Something happened. Let me see. Do zoom for you can see totally all of them. Yep. Okay, so look better. So that's why the first job, and after that you regard with a loss of condition. You must to sell your knowledge, you must to sell your time. For that means the first day you go with the market for your job. When you get the interview, after you get hired, this not to be top. That at that time just let you know that you start to sell something in your body. Your talent, your knowledge, your skill, and everything you learn from school. And after that, you learn quickly how to get experience from working. To gain the experience with me, we need to have two main things. It's the lucky and the timing. So timing is let you know that's on of the work. Need to use time to count for your experience. Luck, that means with me. Sometime in my life, everything happened with luck. And either with my job right now, it comes suddenly. And I think this one time and luck has happened during my life. Okay, so now about economics, we have many conditions regard with that, because we concern with the market service. So that's why you need to go with, you follow the economic condition. If the national, international with the economist condition very good, and your major it go up. If not, and of course your major it go down. Of course the job it will be down. So when you see economists go up and the client plan to design a lot, that's why architecture major will be have a lot of job. Of course it's go up, follow the economy. That's the reason we tell that the economy is the most important in major architecture. Territory is one of decision for the location. For example, state, country, city, neighborhood, some kind like it select you. For example, you get a job in New York, New Jersey, Chicago, something like that. You have the time to learn a lot with the big projects and a lot of people living there, so that's why you have a lot of change to work. But if you do on the small country or the small city, it's, you know, the job is smaller and of course cannot compete with the big city about everything, economics, money, salary, condition, and so on. So that's why the region or territory is of course one of the point you need to focus when you go with the work in architecture. A lot of the large firm, they involve the program technology and they require employee carry out the work over several years. So with the, I have one chapter to talk with you about the large firm and the medium or the small firm. What difference between them? Just review for you that in the large firm, you can learn not much, look like the small one. Usually you work some, you work some team and you just focus one same thing in many years, because in the big company they usually accept the big projects, and that's why many people need to work together for to finish their projects. And sometimes you work couple months, couple years just for one thing. It just correct, design, and correct again before submittal. So that's why the way you learn, not much. Look like you work in the small or the medium firms. That means that in the small firm you didn't have a lot of benefit like the big company, or the salary may be lower. However, you have the chance to practice, you have the chance to work with a lot of steps in the projects, and you learn a lot from that one. I have experience to work with the medium and the small company more than when I work with the big one. The big one I work is XNTB, and they have national and international projects. However, when I start to do this one, I remember I do Terminal 6 for United Airlines, and I do one job, exactly one job in 3 months. That means I review the reflex ceiling only. Just do review, do design, review for the reflex ceiling only for 3 months. And not really much learn from that one. But when I work for the small company, from A to Z, we need to do, because the company didn't hire a lot of employees. So that's why we need to do everything. We need to ready everything. And because that's point, you learn a lot of them from the small company. Okay? Just let you know like this. This is the map to show you 20 countries. They have same thing. They combine together to develop for economics in global. So all of them start from 2015, and 20 countries. If you see that's have USA, Australia, Austria, Belgium, Canada, Chile, Czech, Denmark, Estonia, and so on. So 20 countries to make convention on organization for economics, cooperation, and development. That means they take care about they concern about the economy in the global. Okay, so that's why this one I have few short questions to ask you about national convention, organization for economic operation development. Type of the markets and the client. We have many time from the market and the clients. It depends on the size of the project, depend on historic preservation, and it depend on the circumstance reason. So that means many time from the money, marketing, and of course the clients is different also. Many architects like the markets is just international. Another one like to do international. So it depends, and that's why we have many time from client and markets. This is few pictures, so you can see just for you can see that few of the famous school. They have very strong economy, and that's why they have a lot of design in their school. They have in campus they have many different building, old one and the new one, and they update few years by donator. So that's why you can see a lot of develop in the famous school, especially private school. This one have Harvard, this one is Pennsylvania, and this one is Washington, Seattle. You see that the school is so complex. They have many different buildings from the old one to until the technology one, and they have many projects going on because they have very strong economic condition. This is from projects from medical center. Just let you know that few of the medical center they have non-profit organization, but they have many donators. So that's why they have condition for marketing. They have condition for economic problem issue. So they develop the projects so fast and so big. This is some example from the residential, so you can see a few things. Now, number 5, select architect for the projects. A lot of the client, they like to select the projects or the architect. It depends on experience. Some of them, they like the way how to pay. That means low or high cost. And some of them, they like for personal quality. So if you combine all of them, the client usually select architect for the project, depend on the style from the project, depend on the quality from the architect, and of course depend on the cost they charge for the projects. So that means many different conditions before they select it. You need to know a few things about government client. Governmental client, that means the projects you need to do regard with the government. So this one usually have very low fee, but you need to have qualification minimum, and after that you remote idea and everything many times. I tell you, one project in governmental projects, they can take maybe few years, 10 years, 6 years at the normal. So with the private company, you just work one project, maybe 3 months, 6 months. I didn't see any projects more than 1 year or 2 years, except this is the government job. For example, one middle school or one elementary school, when they start to design until they finish, maybe take 6 years. Normal, because the budgets, some kind of budgets, not continuously. Okay. So that's why a lot of private company, they not really interesting when they get the job from government. Some of direct approach is some kind you need to look for the projects, prospect, and many things regard with that. Communication with the client, prepare and send promotion material. That means on off the approach you need to do. On of them, you know about the interview. A lot of people before you get the permit, or you apply for the permit, or you do some kind of national, international competition, you need to add something like the website, portfolio, or resume in there for the client. They can select very easy. Advertise is one of them. You can call that the marketing also, because a lot of companies, they use the advertise. They spend a lot of money for advertise. The reason because they want the client know them more than the regular. So that's why they focus on that to get the client in. Many way to do for advertise. You can do on TV, radio, magazine, or newspaper, so on. So basically right now with the high tech, they do a lot of advertise. It's so interesting and focus. So that's why client can look at them more than the other time before. Indirect approach talk about some kind of socially active and some kind of civic engage. For you can do some kind of local, regional, national, and you do everything on the paper journal. Look like you do advertise on the private one. However, in the local, you need something published. That means you need to review very careful before you do publish outside. So basically, this chapter we talk about that, and I don't think we have anything more important. So that's why I can stop. Oh, one more thing. This I think that you need to know. That's the interview. A lot of students after they finish bachelor degree, they worry about the interview. How can I get a job after that? So I think that's most important thing with me is ready for the knowledge. When you have the strong knowledge, and interview is just something you don't need to worry a lot. But because the major architecture is a lot of drawing or something regard with that, so I suggest that you do portfolio. It's very good because the portfolio is something it combine everything from your study. So that's why you can show on the interview about that. And after that, you show any projects if you have to work before, internship, or you do something like that, just show. And basically, if you do for the interview, you need to do like professional. The first one, dressing, clothes, everything professional, and after that, portfolio very professional also. Talking, do something for some people can focus on your and do like that. So basically, interview we have many things to do. They need to scope, quality, schedule, budgets, resource, and risk. That means everything regard with the interview they will ask or they will discuss about that. Architect, contractor, construction management, and development. If you see some building, we have a lot of people concerned in there. Architect design. After that, you need to work with consultant for make everything is okay before we got the permit approval. Contractor is the one after approval permit, they can start with construction. So if the company, the big one, they usually have A and E. A stand for architect, E stand for engineer. That means architect and engineer inside from one firm. That means the big company. And they also have contractor. So that's why with the big firm, they have all of the people working for from start to design until the end from construction. The client, they usually find the most value and the best quality for the company. So that's why with the company work for a long time, they have the background history is so long and they're easy to get the job from the client. And the second one, if they have relationship very good, for example, they design something and later if the client they love that and they will recommend for their friend or every people they know for that architect. So that's why it's very good with that relationship. I don't think anything we need to talk more, especially I just remind you one project they can coming fast or slow, good or not, it depends on the time, the quality and the cost. And always clients look this one, look like the circle. They need to select the architect really quality. They need to do the projects on time or early. And last one, the cost charge is low. So that's why I look like the circle like this. They need this one. And if you can solve the problem or you can give them the best from these three of them, and they can hire you to do the projects. Okay, so this chapter is go with that, and I have the review question in the end. It's 8 question for total, and also I post this on beginning from the chapter, so you can answer this one. I call that review question number 4, and when you answer that, just email me. You get 10 points for this one. Thank you so much for follow the chapter. And this is chapter 10. We have one more chapter, chapter 11, and one more chapter is I think at engineer, EP, and after that professional engineer, and I think 2 or 3 more chapter in review, and after that we can go with quiz number 3. I will announce you the quiz number 3. How can we do that? How can you review the question? Something look like you do for quiz number 1 and number 2. But number 3, quiz number 3, you do at home, online. So that's why maybe I give you the limit time, and I will announce with you the way I will ask, or I will control you on the quiz number 3. I think it's easier than because you do at home. So that's why maybe more easy for you to finish the quiz. And I hope that you do very good quiz number 3 before we go with the final ahead. Thank you so much for watching this video for review chapter 10 in the textbook, and see you again next time.